Now, Trump is a product of monetarism, but also he knows full well how to exploit images of nationalism. So his whole policy has been to pretend he's nothing to do with Wall Street, when in fact he's absolutely everything to do with Wall Street. To pretend he's nothing to do with the super rich and exploitation of Rust Belt towns. And it's nothing to do with him. It's complete nonsense. It's everything to do with him. But he's very clever, presents this image that he's only interested in MAGA, make America great again. And he's been very successful at doing that. And globally, he's not interested in international law, has no idea what it is, no concern about it whatsoever. So his concern is that America's got to be made greater than it is. And fails to appreciate that the US is the most indebted country in the world, spends more on weapons and armaments than almost the rest of the world combined. What is it? More than a third of all weapons expenditure across the whole planet is by the USA, and he proposes to double that if he can get away with it. And then on Venezuela, he just says, I'm going to get rid of Maduro because I want to prove I can do it, and used the argument that he did about alleged drug exports and so on from Venezuela, of which there is not much evidence anyway. Um, and he's done that. He's also developed the Trump doctrine on the national security strategy in his work. I advise anyone to read it, actually. It's very well written, very comprehensive, and devastating. It's absolutely clear. Anything in the Western Hemisphere, it's ours. We'll do what we like. And any, what he calls foreign influences, for which I assume he means Venezuela and Cuba primarily, to some extent Mexico, and then some of the Caribbean islands. I would have thought he's probably not very happy with Barbados at the moment,
No.
for example, but there are others. And he gets away with it there. And he then goes on to say that in the case of Africa, which is the most mineral rich continent by far, that the US will go in where it needs to because it needs the minerals, like Greenland and so on. But interestingly, it's 1984-ish in the sense that he says, we're here, we're very big and very powerful. We know there are other groups that are quite powerful, but not as powerful as us, namely China and Russia. And so he sees a sort of eternal three-way conflict between them.